Hey everyone, welcome to Let's Get Aspired, where we talk about all things financial independence. Here we put our money to work so we don't have to. I'm Heather. I've been investigating FIRE for a few years, and I'd like to share things that I've tried and read and learned. Maybe I'll help you on your FIRE journey too. I'm not a financial advisor. None of this is financial advice, but maybe you'll learn something anyway. In today's video, we're going to talk about what FIRE is, what FIRE is not, and why I think FIRE can help everyone. But before we get into what FIRE is, I gotta tell you, your boss doesn't want you to know this stuff. Your boss wants you to show up and be the best employee that there ever was, to be early or at least on time, to work hard all day long, to meet or exceed all of your performance objectives, the ones that he or she tells his or her boss that you're doing, makes them look good. Maybe it gets them a bonus. It gives you your paycheck, which is great, especially when pursuing FIRE. We don't want to end up the wrong kind of fired. But your boss probably doesn't want you to know that there's another way you could live your life. Instead of being on your boss's schedule, you could be on yours. Instead of having to be in the office, you could be wherever you wanted to be. See, the thing with FIRE, or financial independence, retire early, is you have enough financial independence to not be dependent on your paycheck, to not be dependent on what your boss thinks, or your boss's rules, or your company's rules, or any of that. Financial independence is having enough money in the bank to cover all of your expenses. Whether that's having enough money coming in every month in the form of passive income, or you have a giant nest egg referred to as your FIRE number, and then you can live off of that for the rest of your life. FIRE is when your income exceeds your expenses without your income being dependent on paycheck. Okay, income exceeding expenses. Got it. FIRE is not a get-rich-quick scheme. You might hear a lot of, the tech industry or the online businesses or investors, real estate especially. You'll hear some people who, once they find FIRE and they have the motivation and all of the stars align and they can FIRE in 3 years. Well, that's not for most people. So sure, it does happen, but not for most folks, especially if you have read Quit Like a Millionaire by Christy Shen and her husband Bryce. They talk about how most people are optimizers. They have a good income and they have a good investment portfolio, but they are great at saving and reducing their expenses. And while that might not sound like a good way to get to FIRE fast, it certainly gets you towards FIRE much sooner than the standard, wisdom of go to school, get good grades, get a good job, get a good career, buy the big house, buy the 2 cars, have 2.5 kids, take the annual vacation every year. All of that is, the standard wisdom of the American dream. And I'm not sure whose dream that actually is. But if you are pursuing FIRE and you are like me, average income, average investment portfolio, but I'm pretty good at saving, I'm pretty good at being frugal, then you'll be especially aware of FIRE not being a get-rich-quick scheme. FIRE is not a shortcut. You have to do the work. You have to find what enough is for you, which is a tough question to answer. You have to be real about your expenses, to be honest with yourself about what your needs are versus what your wants are, what your goals are, how you want to spend your time, your energy, your effort. All of that is part of understanding FIRE. You see, if we do follow the wisdom of the high school guidance counselor and get good grades to go to school and get a lot of debt, but have a good career, but have a lot of expenses, we'll just kind of go through the motions, clocking in, showing up at the cubicle every day, taking our 2 weeks paid vacation. And that's assuming we're not gig workers. I worked in restaurants for almost 10 years, so I completely understand that side of things. And I'm grateful to have a more steady, stable job now where I can plan my income. But, oh my gosh, where was I going? I got distracted with the gig stuff because that could be a whole video all in and of itself. The challenges associated with that. Where was that going? FIRE, guidance counselor, wisdom. It's not actually wisdom. Oh, light bulb. I remember. Okay, FIRE is not a get rich quick scheme, and if you are pursuing that high school guidance counselor wisdom, and you show up to work and you work your whole career and you retire at 67, 68, 69, depending on when you were born and when you entered the workforce and when you expect to collect your Social Security, if there is Social Security to collect, all of that. I mean, if you think about it, if you enter, so let's just keep the math simple. If you enter your career when you're 20 and you work until you're 65, that's 45 years of working in something that you're not working for yourself. I mean, you're paying your bills, but you're showing up and you're putting your energy and effort into someone else's day, not into your own day. You're growing a company, you're growing a business, you're making sales, and all of that is productive and great, but it's not necessarily what you might want to be doing. So when you pursue FIRE, you take that 45-year timeline and you bring it down as much as you can based off of your goals and your spending and your values. There's a lot of factors at play. So to FIRE fast is really hard. But if you think about it, by pursuing FIRE, maybe it takes you 10 years to be financially independent. That you're 35 years ahead of the game of life, and that gives you 35 years to live your life and do what you want. Not have to show up and punch in, punch out, schedule your vacation, ask to take time off, hope it gets approved. Like, FIRE is about freedom and having the freedom to spend your day how you want, not to spend all of your energy at the office and then get home from work and clean up the house, make dinner, get ready for the next day at work, and then maybe live your life just a little bit. And I'll keep bouncing around about what FIRE is and what FIRE is not. But FIRE, like I said, is freedom. FIRE is not following the supposed to's of the high school guidance counselor. If you pursue FIRE and you start telling people about it, they might think you're crazy, especially your parents. If you tell your parents, I'm going to beat you to retirement, they're probably going to laugh at you, which good for them, good for you, however you want to take that. But to me, that's a worthwhile goal. I have a lady in the office that I work with. She's retiring in 768 days. I keep a counter because I'm trying to beat her. I don't think I will, but I'm trying. And if I don't have a goal, then I have nothing to kind of hold myself accountable to try and achieve that. Why I think FIRE can help everyone. I've touched on it already, but I want to drive it home because we work very hard all day long for someone else, and we leave just the tiniest bit of the day left for us. Now imagine if you didn't have to work, if you didn't have to get up early, get ready for work, drive to work, do the work thing, do that all in reverse to come home, unwind, decompress, get ready for the next day. Like, all of that is a lot, and it's a lot of our day, and that becomes a lot of our life. And if we're going to work mostly to get a paycheck, that's a lot of time to give in exchange for a paycheck. Now, if we love our jobs and we're super motivated by them and interested in what we do, and we would never want to do anything else, and the idea of retiring early sounds crazy, well, that's great. But think about how much freedom you would have if you were financially independent and it didn't matter if you loved your job or not. If you loved your job, you would show up anyway, but maybe the company, gets bought up by someone else, or maybe there's a merger, or, somebody throws in the towel and the business closes. Maybe you want to change and move from one side of the United States to the other side and see what that's like. A lot of things can change. You might be super happy now, but that doesn't mean that the circumstances that you're in now are guaranteed. Now, if you were in a position of fire, you'd have plenty of choices where you could stay or go or try something new or go it your own way or link up with some friends who had the same interest and work with them. Having fire when you pursue fire, you're pursuing more freedom. You're pursuing more choice. You're pursuing more life. I think it's awesome that in, where is it? Your Money or Your Life by Vicki Robin and Joe Dominguez. This is one of my favorite fire books. She talks about how you're not making a living, you're making a dying. And to me, that's so impactful. If you show up, just are going through the daily grind, there's so much more to life than just showing up to work. But it feels like work can be so consuming of our life and of our time and our energy, and it just leaves the tiniest bit left for ourselves. And I think everyone, if they had the position of financial independence to pursue the creative projects that they're interested in, to pursue the philanthropy efforts that they want to support, or the family time that they wish they had rather than spending so much time at the office. We're only here on this earth, for less than 100 years, and the first nearly fifth of that is us growing into the humans that we are. So I think fire can help everyone by giving them a little bit more of themselves back in every day. It's not like you have to put yourself on hold until you retire to become the person you want to be. It's not like you have to, wait to be you as you are until you go home at the end of the night. I think we would all be far less stressed, less worried, less angry. We'd be kinder creatures, more caring. We'd be friendlier. We'd be happier. We'd have a better understanding of what our values are, what our goals are, and we could align our efforts, our spending, how we spend our days in a way that we would feel really satisfied with just living. We wouldn't be worried about the deadlines or the emails or are my work pants clean for tomorrow? Do I need to, my shoes are falling apart. I gotta run to the store tomorrow to get a new pair of shoes. All of those requirements just go away when we're financially independent. Those are choices that we make, and that gives us a lot of power back. And I don't know about you, but I love having control over my day and not relegating that control to someone else, especially to some, organization. That's a broad, nefarious term that I don't know what that means. If your schedule is, run by the company, what does that mean? Is your time being spent in the best way if it's run by not even a person, but an organization? When you think about how much time we have on this earth, it sounds kind of risky. And I don't like risk. I'm pretty risk averse. I like a good return on my investment. So for me, fire is a great investment because I'm in the driver's seat. I am putting my money to work. I am telling my money what to do. And that works for me because I know that someday my money will be working so that I don't have to. And then I can do the real work. I can grow our food as much as I want to, as much as I'm able to, depending on the circumstances. I would be able to write the book that I want to write. I'd be able to pursue all of these, creative projects, or travel and see all of the things that we want to go see. And all of that really excites me. And I don't really want to wait until I'm 60 something to get to pursue some of those. So I'm taking the driver's seat and I'm pursuing FIRE. I'm only 22% of the way there. And I know I said that I wanted to get there in 2 years, and that's not going to happen. But I'm using it as a goal for accountability to keep the accelerator going. Because if I take my foot off the gas, I'm worried I'll slump off. And then my spending and my investments might not be in alignment with my values. But by having a goal that's tough to meet, it's a stretch goal, if you will, I'm gonna get there, hopefully sooner than later, and I hope you'll come along with me. I hope we can get to FIRE together. I hope to learn from you as much as I hope I can share something that I have learned with you. And with that, I'll see you on the next one. Bye, guys.